Hello and welcome, guys. Thank you for joining me again for another night of Facebook Live. I also like to take time out just to recognize those that catch the replay from YouTube and or SoundCloud. It is indeed a blessing to be here with you tonight. I am your host, Anntricia Bray Smith, author, educator, and public speaker. I am the voice for those who suffer in silence. Guys, tonight we are still bringing awareness to um, the month of September. It is the month for suicide awareness. So we don't want to neglect to continue to keep this on the forefront of your mind as we continue in our pandemic and as life for us as we knew it no longer exists, and we're having to transition into creating new beginnings and new things for our life. So um, the topic is kind of broad tonight, but also I just wanted to highlight it in also our content for Suicide Awareness Month, because as life continues to go on and as things in our life continue to force us to change and force us to adapt, we can't neglect, guys, that we have to make every moment of our life count. And that is what we're here to talk about tonight, just as a reminder and just as an affirmation for you to make every moment count. But first, let us take care of a little housekeeping needs, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel has all the content that we conduct here on the live. Not only that, there's other content that is added there that you may enjoy. So go over to YouTube, find our page, like and subscribe, so that we can continue to bring the content that matters most to you. Also, if you're not already following me on Amazon, go over to Amazon and follow me there on Amazon. There, since this is the month of my birth, I have all of my books marked down at a discounted price for the month of September. So they're there for you. You can probably get my entire collection of books for about $20. So for about $20, you're or a little more, you will be able to get all of those books. Those books are there to help you in the transitions that you're having to make for your life. It gives you simple, practical ideas on how to make those adjustments that you desire for your life. And they're easy to follow, easy to read, easy to understand, and practical for such a time as this. Not only that, guys, we have our online store, Bonfire, which houses all of our teas. So if you haven't already been there just to take a look to see what we have available for you, there's a variety of styles, colors, and sizes of the tees, sweatshirts, and long sleeves and hoodies that we have there available for you. So the products that you purchase from our online store, the proceeds from those sales support the youth education program from our nonprofit CWF organization. Nonetheless, guys, it's just a blessing to be here with you. I appreciate the time that you sacrifice being here with me. I'm not going to hold you long tonight. So as you are joining me, send me a shout out in the comment section. Let me know that you are here. Let me know that you're doing okay tonight. And what that does, it just gives me that extra push sometimes that I need just to make it through the night. So send me a comment, a shout out. Let me know you're here. Just say hello. Also, if you have something that you'd like to share as I'm going through these topics, I'd love to hear what you think about it. Hey, Diane, how are you tonight? I'd love to hear what you think, your point of view, because when I say something, I'm speaking from my perspective. That's just one perspective. That doesn't make it right or wrong. It's just the way I think. It's just the way I perceive the information or the data that I'm given. You may think of it totally different. And so that diversity there just uh, helps us consider other perspectives on how we view the things that we talk about here. All that we ask is that we're all respectful of one another. Let's agree to disagree when we do, and let's keep it pushing, guys, because there is no one size fit all formula when it comes to life. We are a complex being, and that's what makes us all unique. That's what we have our own thoughts, our own perspective when it comes to certain topics and certain things. So feel free to share, feel free to engage, and let us know kind of what you're thinking too as we go through these topics. Nevertheless, tonight I'm talking about making every moment count. Making every moment count, guys, and it just brings tears to my eyes when I think about all the time that I've wasted not considering how valuable life is. Life is so valuable. And it wasn't until I sat and I watched my dad take his last breath that I realized how valuable and how critical life is. And it's gone just like that. It's gone just in a moment. It's gone in just a blink of an eye. And so, you know, so many times we find ourselves complaining. We find ourselves focusing on the negative, focusing on the many things that are not right in our life, that we neglect the little bitty things in life. We neglect to realize that no matter what it looks like for today, no matter what it looks like for this moment, you know, we have to make it count. We can't discount it and discredit it for what it is. Because we know after listening to other people's stories and after just sitting here night after night, we know that in our darkest days, in our darkest moments, that's when we're developing the most. And yes, it seems uh, sad at the time. Yes, it seems lonely at the time. Yes, it seems so dark that we can't find our way out. But what can we find to hold on to just to make it through another moment or another minute or another hour? And sometimes we have to take whatever that is and grab a hold to it and just keep pressing through. And sometimes that is the hardest thing. It's the hardest thing to think of that happy place, or to get to that happy place, or that thing or that memory that makes us smile, or to give us that comfort or that peace or that joy that we seek. Because of mental health, there are some things that we don't control. So if you're one of those who are suffering with depression and anxiety, or maybe other personality disorders or behavior disorders, you know, some of those things we don't have control over. So it's hard sometimes to find something that brings us joy, or something that brings us a smile, or to think about that memory. Sometimes it's hard to press through that uncontrollable sadness. And I know it's hard. I've been there and I've done that. And it seems like I made so much ground in overcoming that. But when I think back, I can think back at a lot of moments that, you know, I took for granted in my life. I took for granted of time that I had with loved ones that are no longer with me. I took for granted uh, of, of, of of just magnifying negative things that were happening. I took for granted in magnifying my betrayals and magnifying my traumas, that, you know, I was missing out on living. I was really missing out on living. And, you know, when we look at how sensitive life is, how critical it is, and how you know, time is not in our favor. It's not on our side. And so one thing that we don't ever want to take for granted from here on out is life. The moments that we have, even in those little bitty things. Overcoming or overlooking what we're going through for a moment to make it happen in the life of somebody else, to bring a smile to somebody else, to make sure that somebody else is okay. Hey, Chris, how are you tonight? Haven't seen you, and I hope you're well. Yeah, so, we don't want to take for granted to reach out and to say hello. Maybe there's someone that you haven't checked on in a while. And maybe you notice that someone is going through some behavioral changes, and maybe they're not acting like themselves. That's the time, that's that moment when you become aware of that we need to be concerned. And I know sometimes we don't want to think that we're violating or imposing up on people's space and things like that, but I'm telling you right now that it's okay to impose. It's okay to impose. Um, I'd rather impose and check in and let you know that I'm thinking about you, or just reaching out to see how you're doing, or just let you know you are on my mind, than to take for granted that I'll have another opportunity when we don't know. We don't know when our time here on this side of heaven is up. It's just the reality of it all. So that's what I want you guys to do in the next 24 hours. Whatever space you in, let's not discount the time and the moments we have, not only with our own lives, but in the lives of those that matter to us, in the lives of our family, in the lives of our friend, in the lives of that widower, in the lives of that elderly person that may be feeling lonely. Suicide is real in every culture. It's real over every age dynamics. Elderly people, they suffer with that depression, and they struggle with that need to or desire to be dependent, or versus being a burden on other people. And so for some of them, they stop eating, or they stop taking their medications, and they stop doing the things that would keep them around, so that they limit their time, or that they alter their time. So we don't want to take for granted. We don't want to neglect to engage in just to impose on other people, especially in times like we're living. Because we thought COVID would be over by now. We thought life would be back to normal. We thought that we would be over this by now. We thought that the hurt and the traumas that we've experienced, we would be over it by now. We thought we would be able to move on by now. We thought that maybe our kids would get their act together by now. We thought that he would treat us right by now. We thought that we could get past this. We thought that we would rise above our past, but the past keeps showing up and meeting us and knocking at our door. We thought so many things that, and when they come back up and it continues to surface, and I continue to feel the heartache, and I continue to relive the pain and the traumas, it takes a toll on us. So we find ourselves focusing more on those things than finding the joy in life, then finding our peace in life, then finding the things that brings a smile, then being able to tap into that positivity. So let's not neglect to make every moment count, guys. We need to make it count. If not for me, for you. If not for you, for me. That's how it should be. So I appreciate you guys taking out the time to be here with me tonight. And it is my hope that in the next 24 hours you find something that makes you smile. Even if you're in the darkest space of your life, even if it takes going into that closet and digging out those old photographs and calling an old friend up on the phone, or just taking a walk, or just, reminiscing, whatever it is that you do to find that peace within, to find that smile, to find that love, to just tap into something that moves you like nothing else in this world on the positive side. Do that. Do that, and as you do it, I'll be doing the same. I appreciate you guys joining me tonight. I am your host, Anntricia Bray Smith, author, educator, and public speaker. I'll meet you right back here tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Good night, everybody.